All right, how's everybody doing? This is Jason Wells from Mechanics of Faith. I'm going to be showing you today how to check your transmission fluid, but I do want to let you know that not all vehicles have what's called a dipstick to check your transmission fluid. It's very similar to checking your oil, but again, not all vehicles have it. So if you go look under the hood of your car, you do not see a dipstick, don't freak out. Your car probably just does not have it. A good example of that is I had a 2005 Ford Explorer, which did not have transmission. There's a special Ford machine hooks up to the transmission pan underneath, and they actually inject basically the way it injects the transmission fluid into the system. So that's how that's done. So if you pop your hood of your car, you're looking around for a transmission dipstick, don't freak out. You probably just don't have one. Also, with engine oil, so we're not talking about transmission right now, we're talking about engine oil. With engine oil, right, it's going through the motor, it's working in the motor, it's greasing things up, right, it can burn off and things like that. Transmission, not so much. So you don't have, where your transmission's burning transmission fluid, right? Typically, if you're running really low on transmission fluid, you got a leak somewhere, you got bigger problems, okay? So again, I try not to worry, tell folks don't freak out too much about transmission fluid unless you're seeing some transmission fluid on the driveway. So I will I'll discuss that here briefly shortly. So again, I'm trying out a new tripod because again, I don't always have a partner with me. So Mechanics of Faith, we got ourselves a tripod to try to help out so we can do some more demo videos for everybody as quickly as possible. So please bear with us, right, as we learn how to use this thing. So as you look under the hood here, you'll see this is a pickup truck. Engine oil is right here. Transmission dipstick is right here. And again, sometimes they're red, sometimes they're yellow. Typically, if they're the same color, they're labeled. So like on this truck, this over here actually says engine oil, and this says transmission fluid. So if they're the same color, they'll typically be labeled. But again, a lot of times transmission's red. So go ahead and pull this out. Again, pulls out just like the oil does, right? So you can see it's a dipstick. Going to pull that out, and it's pretty long. This one actually goes back behind the motor. All right. So again, napkin, paper towel, right? As you can see here, got a little bit of fluid on there, and I apologize, guys. It's kind of hard to get fluid to show on a camera, right? There we go. And as you can see, it's got a little bit of a reddish tint. So transmission fluid is red. So if you look down in your driveway and you see a little red tint on there, that's transmission fluid. And again, gotta wiggle it a little bit, right? Run it in there. So, and the other thing to note, and I'm gonna see if I can get this on here for you, but some dipsticks have letters on there for hot and cold, okay? And what that means is your transmission fluid, when it's hot, is gonna be a little different levels than when it's cold, which is a good thing, because when let's say you start having issues or you feel like you got a problem and you say, you know what, something's not right, I'm gonna check my transmission fluid. It has a label on there so that if your car is still warm, you just pull it in the driveway and you want to check it, it actually has a little line on there that says hot, and that's the level you want it to be at when the truck is warm. And then it's got another line on there that says cold. That's what you want it to be at when it's cold. So I haven't driven this truck in a couple hours. So again, I wanted to check it cold. Motor's extremely cold. You can put your hands on it. So again, that's how you check your transmission fluid. But I want to iterate. If you do not see a dipstick for transmission, do not freak out. Your vehicle most likely does not come equipped with one. So again, don't worry. If you look under there, you say, I don't have a dipstick for transmission fluid, don't worry about it, okay? There's other ways to check your transmission fluid. Some cars have some things on the sides of them and stuff. But again, I still tell people, just don't freak out too much about your transmission fluid because, again, you'll start having slippage, things like that, when your transmission fluid gets low. And again, that could be leaking, right? What I'm getting at is, don't freak out. You pop under the hood and you don't see a dipstick, okay? Again, we're trying to do these educational videos to kind of ease people's minds, right? Have them check some things. And what I don't want to have is someone pop their hood and freak out that they don't see a transmission dipstick, okay? So just stay calm and collective. No. So anyways, so again, it's a dipstick, much like the checking of your oil. It's either yellow or red. I've actually seen one that was orange before. But again, it's labeled, right? So it says, you know, transmission fluid on there. So again, this is Jason Wells from Mechanics of Faith. We have more videos at www.mechanicsoffaith.com. Have a look. Thanks.